February 11th.
I make a motion to approve
Okay.
With the
February
change.
11th with the
With
change.
the
With the amendment.
Do I have a second?
that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve February 11th meetings, special meeting with, for Audrey Wallace, contract with amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
And we have no zoning,
Now we can approve the bills.
right.
And since we already did there, I motion we approve the bills for February 2019.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the bills and the payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Spencer,
You're up.
you're up for your report.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Don't have any numbers to give you this month. We have had some issues with the flow meters on the sewer treatment plant. Those are being worked on. Somebody that didn't know electricity 101 to shut off the breakers before you open up a unit burned up the logics in one of them. So they're replacing it at their nickel. I had a chance at Rural Water to get together with both the manufacturers of some of the components that we have at the sewer treatment plant and tried to get them headed the correct direction to fix the last few remaining components that we have that are still giving us fits. So hopefully that will be done in its entirety next month. Until such a time, we will continue to be in a sewer violation because we cannot accurately record the weir flow, the flowage of the affluent sewage. We cannot get to the manhole lid to get it open to check it because of the blowing, drifting snow and frost, so.
So that's just the measurement of what's leaving.
Exactly,
Mhm.
right, which we have the digital meters to do that, they're just not working either right now, so.
What's the ramifications of being in violation?
slap
Yeah,
in the hand
they,
pretty much.
we
Yeah.
got a little.
No fine check.
No,
I
no.
don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have been in touch with Chad and I know that they've been down here a couple of times and so,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, and they should be down here in the next couple weeks. Ed Taylor and his crew and MET, the other company that did some of the wiring, should be down here in the next couple of weeks on the board's gonna to address one of the problems, and the other one is still a mystery, and they're getting together to figure out that. Electrician was there and put in the thermostat on one of the change orders that we approved last month. They put in the thermostat into the pump house so that now the heater, you don't have to adjust the heater by climbing on a ladder. We still will work on a data logger of some type. When the meter gets fixed, then we'll go down that path. And everything else is working pretty good. The lagoons are kind of frozen over for the most part, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. Jeremy and I both were at Rural Water. He'll touch bases on what he learned and stuff. It was all in all a very good conference, a great opportunity to Jeremy had a great time, I think, meeting vendors, and he was pretty amazed and impressed as to the people that are there. It's one of the Montana's largest conferences. Over 1,000 people are there, and Tester was there and talked to us over lunch, and it's a great opportunity for the politicians to see so many small towns at one setting. So it's a great conference. There are over
That's a great
100.
learning experience.
Yeah, 100 vendors there. There's anywhere from funding to just anywhere from A to Z. So it was. It's always a great conference to go to. So.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll just shut up and I'll speak up here after Jeremy talks to you about other things that happened in town.
Okay.
So.
You brought up a board that got fried or something? What was that? And
It was a logic board in one of the affluent water meters that the gentleman, the manufacturer's rep, undid 4 screws and stuck his finger in there and shorted something out before shutting off the low voltage breaker.
It's a good
So-
thing he didn't stick his
It was
finger in there and shut himself.
yeah,
off.
it was low voltage, so it wouldn't have hurt him. But
Okay.
yeah, it was just a stupid idiot. Yeah. So.
So we haven't had that flow meter chart, we haven't had that flow chart replaced yet, it's not actually working.
No,
Okay.
correct.
But
Yep.
it will be in a couple of weeks.
I would say by
Hopefully.
our next meeting, I'll have good numbers to report to you.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Jeremy?
Right, yeah, it was your baby basically, yeah.
First and foremost, mostly just taking care of the snow, it's just never ending, and I'm doing the best I can, getting around, getting all the streets. At least one pass or one width so cars aren't getting stuck, and been pushing people out when I can and helping plow driveways and just doing it as a courtesy. I've gotten a lot of good comments from that, and anyway, that's been nice to hear. But that's been my biggest concentration, is just concentrating on this snow that's been coming. And knowing that, the conference up in Great Falls was pretty incredible. I had no idea what I was going to, and then it's just really overwhelming. Like he said, I didn't know there was that many people there. I knew it was big, but I've been to some smaller golf course conferences, but it had no comparison to that one. But it was, I learned a tremendous amount of information. I thought I had read or had the books, but it's not the same as when you hear it as a lecture, and that they're so much more knowledgeable than, and so they can transfer that on to us. And so the classes went really good. Like I said, learned a lot. I wasn't comfortable with testing at the final day, so, because I'm gonna meet up with another gentleman for some of the math problems I'm struggling with and getting through that. But the good thing is I have a year to test, and I feel comfortable I'll be doing it by the end of March.
Okay, yeah,
And I can do that
we're gonna be
at-
meeting with Josh
Yeah.
Tablero, okay,
And I can do that at Billings at their office anytime,
Right.
schedule an appointment
yeah.
and just go in. And so
I'm
that,
fine
and
with
then,
that.
what's that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. And then one last thing, there was a water break up on Mine Spur. And when I first, anyway, a guy told me about it, so I went up there and found the source of it, and was told it was probably just a service line, 3/4 inch or old copper galvanized pipe. Well, come to find out, it's undocumented 5-inch main line that comes from West River all the way down and serves all the whole way down that area that I could tell. And Spencer came out, and me and him and his worker Matt dug it up, and come to find out, we thought it was a 4-inch at first. Well, after we were able to find the isolation valve finally, close it down, clean the pipe up, it's 2 different sizes of 5-inch pipe. And so we got a band clamp on it to get it to, it's dramatically slowed down, and the people still have service now, so at least they're up and running and still have that. And we're just waiting on warmer weather to get access into there to fix it properly, and it was like welded together, and it's at like almost a 45 or a 33.5-inch angle. And then that's 2 different sizes pipe, and they're welded, and that's what broke, is in that area. And I don't know why that pipe is there and why it wasn't 4 or 6-inch.
Why it hasn't broke before.
Yeah,
Right.
And
the
it's-
fact-
was
the fact
almost-
is that we don't have, every map that we have for our water lines is not accurate. The shut-off valves are not marked, the curb boxes aren't marked, the manhole covers are not marked. There's nothing that is of value on any of those maps as far as location.
I mean, it's getting better, but yeah, that's gonna be something I need to do when I can have time, and then, especially now with the snow though, I mean, I was like, reading the meters, I was unable to get some of them, cause they're chest high snow on top of them, and I dug, I give it 45 minutes, but I can only spend so long to get around the whole town.
Right.
And some of them had 6 inches of ice on them.
Would those Insta reads, we wouldn't have a problem with the snow, would we?
The radio reads?
Yeah.
No, all those
No,
come
they'll
in.
read. The only problem is that if we replace one of the old meters with the new radio read, then we have to charge the customer for the new meter.
Yeah, well, I understand that, I just wanted to know whether
And
they
that's
read
where we're
through
gonna run into a
6 feet of
problem.
snow.
Yeah, because a lot of people just they can't
Well,
afford the
it's
switching
a
out.
problem that we're gonna have to overcome,
Right.
because
What's
those
that
need to
cost
get
on
out.
that to replace?
It's the meters cost us $236, so we'll have to charge at least that, to replace the old meter. But they are so much more accurate because they will let you know when we read those, the chart comes up, it shows you if there's a leak, if it's a high or low water. There's just a ton of things that go along with that radio read that we don't have in the old meters. and we don't have, the problem with the freeze plates cracking or breaking
Oh,
on you know, as with the old meters, so.
I see.
It's actually a good, a lot better to have a radio read meter in your meter pit than one of the old ones. We've come across, recently, meter on a person's property where it was packed with insulation, but somebody took the insulation out, so the freeze plate cracked, and then we had a leak, and there we go, you know, so it's just, it's been a journey and a mess.
At one time, the Fromberg City Council agreed that they would all be changed. Is that not right?
They talked about it, yes.
Did they do more than talk about it?
No.
Did they vote on it?
No,
Okay.
it was one of those problems that they kind of talked around, and
Well, some people changed out
everybody
at
that
that time.
has a radio read right now came in and requested us to change out the meters, and they paid for those themselves.
But if on your old gas meters and stuff, they change those out, and when they change them out, they don't necessarily charge you, like, and your electric meters and stuff like that.
That's a different
They
debate.
kind of figure it's in the cost of doing the deal.
Yeah.
I
A
know,
little
but
bit different.
with our budget and what we have to pay for them, compared to the budget of the gas company and the electric company,
No, but I'm just saying, you're gonna get a fight from people whose
I know
meters
we
are
are,
working fine.
I know we are, and that's why we want to discuss that and see if we can't make some arrangements where they could, you know, make payments on it or whatever they can until.
Well,
you know.
if we cannot read their meter because of the snow, they're
Right.
not fine.
Well, I understand that, but there's other people who, it's not because of the snow or whatever. And then, let me tell you what, I have had the meter changed in my house 3 times. I have done it personally myself. The guys have never came in and done it, because it is such a bitch to get to where it's at, to change it. Nobody in their right mind wants to do it. You're gonna run into a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we've got, you know, different problems all over town when it comes to meters and meter pits and curb boxes and everything else. It's, like I said, it's, you know,
So,
it's been a
the maps
firestorm.
that Jeremy is referring to, it's some new subdivided streets there that show on maps, but there's not really roads or there's not subdivided lots there, but there is a water main down in there, and I don't know when they
And
were
it's probably
subdivided or
in the
when
wrong
those
place.
steel mains were put in there, but it's a welded main, and we've
Mm-hmm.
got it slowly dripping now. The hole is open, we've got it safely covered and protected so that we're not gonna have any damage or injury, or we're very little liability, we're not really exposed to any liability of anybody falling in the hole. But we are just waiting for some nicer, warmer weather, maybe next week in the 20s or something, we might get after it. We are gonna have to shut down the main for the day, cut out a section of the main, put in 2 repair saddles and a short piece of plastic pipe to fix that.
And do we have the right size saddles at the shop? I
No.
know we have
No.
6 and 8 inch, right? But we don't
No,
have.
some correction needs to be made there. It is 4-inch pipe, but when you say 4-inch pipe, it's not 4-inch OD.
Right.
It's actually 5.1 was one size and 5.45 was the other size. It is considered 4-inch pipe,
Mhm.
but 4-inch OD pipe has various ranges depending upon its OD. It is considered 4-inch pipe.
See on schedule 40 and schedule.
Yes, exactly, yeah,
And
so-
we don't have the saddles to fit.
You don't
that.
have them here, but Northwest
Okay,
Pipe has them.
alright,
So,
alright.
yeah, I
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
some up when I came up, but we cleaned off so much carbuncles and junk on the outside of the pipe that we originally thought it was a 6-inch saddle, which Jeremy did have, but that just wiggled on the pipe. We got down in there and cleaned the pipe off, and we got a bigger saddle that we borrowed from Joliet, because we were in a hurry that night to get it done. We were able to get that on there and sealed
Okay.
up for the most
Okay.
part. So, let me rewind just a little bit. There was one other event that happened last month. We did have a line freeze up. It was more of a private deal because they contacted curb box specialists to come fix. Just wanted the council to know we had a line froze up and we were able to get it thawed out from the house. Curb box specialist has some pipe thawing equipment, that we actually thawed the pipe out to the street so that no excavation had to happen. I believe it was Mr. Vargas's property.
Mhm.
Mr.
Mhm.
Cunningham was renting it, I think. Learning
Right.
names of people, but everyone was very happy that we did not have to go into the street to dig anything up. It had frozen about 12 to 15 feet from the meter back in the earth. So they were pleased that we could get that done, and it went fairly
Well,
smoothly.
we had another, in fact, we evidently this has happened several years in a row, and I've talked to this lady several times, but she has the same problem.
Okay.
Because from the main, and I don't know how they did that, because I haven't been able to, we haven't dug it up so I could look at it or anything else, but evidently the line coming in from her property, because the meter is close to her house, but her line is only 2 feet deep.
It's not that.
That's a
The
sort of,
line that is 2 feet deep is the one going underneath the alley. That's where it's freezing up at.
No, this isn't, there's no alley there. It just goes from the street straight to her house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cause
Yeah.
there's a sewer line that you've got a problem with that's 2 feet deep going underneath an alley that's freezing up.
Okay,
And
Well, see,
she's
and those
calling
are-
again.
right, and those are the things that we have to look at as a council, because there are so many things that have been neglected for so long and have not been repaired. When you've got a water or sewer line, either one, that's only 2 or 3 feet deep, and that that permafrost is gonna push even lower if there's a lot of traffic going over there. And it doesn't make sense to me that this wasn't taken care of a long time ago. This lady's had problems for 3 years.
I don't think they had problems till they put that alley in and people were driving over it.
And which alley is that, Marge?
The one down there
Down
by
by Jean.
down
Jean
on
Root.
Lover's Lane, at the end of Lover's Lane. They put that alley in when Kevin put his shop in,
Uh-huh,
and so when you've got
Okay.
people that drive over that,
right,
that's when the problem came up.
right.
And she's tried to, on its city, that easement there, she's tried to put posts there so nobody will park there, but you still have that problem from people driving over it. And
Yeah, because when she had the Cotters here to thaw that sewer line out,
and it froze up again.
and I was down there that day, because I told her, I says, be sure and call me so I can go down and see, because I wanted to know what was going on. And, but she's had that problem for a couple of years now. So
She'll
the only-
continue to have that problem.
And
Well-
she will, unless we can figure out a way to dig that up and get it corrected. Because there are a couple places in town that have that problem, and I think it should have been corrected a long time ago, but then,
What steps are being taken to remedy it?
well, right now, nothing, because the ground
What
is
steps
frozen.
do we
and
need to take to remedy it?
We'll need to dig up that line and make sure that the drop and the grade goes into the sewer line where it should. Right now, I don't think it's low enough. And then we're gonna have to work with her to have that line into her house, because she's gonna have to take some responsibility for the cost to do that.
It's not at her house that it's freezing up.
It's freezing up right on the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
On
that's,
the- on the-
that's
Right,
so.
but the problem is
So why does she take care of the cost when it's on city property?
But it's not
She
on
wouldn't.
city property, it's on her property.
On the other side of the fence?
That's
It's-
her property.
No, it goes underneath, the open hole starts 2 feet from her fence line, and they go underneath and they have to go that way on your property to get it thawed out.
And it's freezing up wherever people drive.
Yep,
Right,
and so
Mhm.
then,
So that's-
and as
that's
frost
city property.
goes, you understand, once you start to frost, you frost back this way.
Yeah.
But Cotter's has been there, and every time they say it's because it starts out there and it works its way back.
I think it's our responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I said, we're going to have to dig to see where that grade comes in, the sewer line from her property into our main, because the grade is not right. If it was, it would not be freezing and backing up. You see what I mean?
And it's possible we may have to go down, put a lift station in before we get it into the line. What, they got the
Well,
entire
we're gonna
thing?
have to look at the cost,
Look at
because
it
I
and
think
see.
the lift station probably costs more than us digging it up and correcting the line. I'm not sure yet.
Not for one person.
Well, yeah, but we've had problems on that street for a long time.
But if it's just the one line that feeds the one house, it's not that much for one person.
I think Kevin has had his freeze up a couple of times, hasn't he?
I don't know if Kevin's had, I have no
But I think
idea.
you should set up a special meeting and inquire other information to proceed forward.
Well, we will. I mean, we're gonna look at it very carefully and see where we're going with it, because that stuff has to be corrected. There's just no doubt about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to open up Pandora's box.
There's 9 variables that go into that.
Right, I know.
So. Anyway, I think that was all that Jeremy and I had, wasn't that? Was there
Yeah.
anything else? that
Does
we-
anyone have questions or comments or?
Okay.
No, I just wanted to say, I think Jeremy's doing a good job of keeping the streets clean.
And
I mean,
for
it's,
by himself, yes, and we are
it's
going
just
to
a
start
job, I
looking
mean,
for
and it's
someone
never
to help
ending,
him.
so I think you're doing a
We're
good
gonna have
job.
to do that.
Thank you.
You know, one thing I would
Just
suggest, Jeremy, is if you're out there, you know, doing these nice things for the public, and I'm sure they appreciate it, have them send something in. We're gonna have a website up, and I would not mind seeing some of those on our website as well.
Okay.
Like a tip jug.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jug.
it's a verbal pat on the back. That's all you can expect.
Yeah.
Well, from the council, we do appreciate it, Jeremy.
Yes, we really
Really
do.
do.
Okay, so the next,
Number 10.
on the agenda is the employee report.
Yeah, it's just me. As you can see, your packets are a little bit less every time we go. There's a lot of information that, you'll get the main stuff, but, bank statements you won't see because it does not reflect the true balance of what our, situation is or will be at the end of the month anyway, because you don't know your cash report will be enough to tell you exactly what we have. That and Kirsten's been a big help and training me, and Hope's been helpful, very helpful at times, so I'm trying my best to get everything done. Our website, we have a new website that is semi up and running. It's fromberg-mt.com, and you can go and take a look at it. It's got some of the new, it's got the old meeting minutes, it's got, I don't think it has the new ones as of yet. But it does have, and we'll be working on things to upload and videos and things like that, as soon as we get them all done. Other than that, as you all know, you've already told me I go to school and I'm applying for the scholarship. But the scholarship will deny me any funds unless the council denies me the funding. They will not give a scholarship if you guys will say, yes, we can afford it. The cost is roughly a little over $1,000. It's $415 for the conference for 4 days. It's about $400 and some for the room for 4 days, and then with meals and travel time. So it's a little over. It's probably between $1,000 and $1,500. So I have to have the council make a motion that you deny me the funds. You've already approved that I can go, but that we do not have the money. And as our situation is right now, not knowing our true balance. So if the council makes a motion to deny me the funding to go to school, then I can send an unofficial transcript of the meeting to the scholarship people, and then they will, not that I will get it, but it will, it goes with the scholarship.
How's that work, Jan?
Same thing.
They vote not to give you the funding, then you don't get the funding, then you can't go?
Either I can't go, or
Then they'll
they make the
They
funding
change their
available
mind.
for me to go.
Or they,
Change their mind and then vote to give her the money later?
Yeah.
Because the scholarship, it says that in the application,
It
that
says,
you,
yeah.
you cannot be allowed the funds from your town, or the town doesn't pay for it, why would they give you the scholarship? It is a catch-22, but I know it's like that.
Yeah.
So,
So it says on the scholarship, the town has to deny me the funds.
Is
They
it a-
approve
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
baby.
doing, but they can't afford to send.
Is it like a partial
Approve the
X
time
amount?
off.
We've already approved that.
Basically.
No, you approved her
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, you have to pay her while she's there.
Yeah, so now we have to approve this,
I
we have
make
to
a motion
deny
to
the
give her
funding.
nothing.
You're so mean.
We have a motion to deny funding for the schooling for the town clerk. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, so
Throw together a bake sale.
you can send.
I make fantastic cheesecakes, I can put myself,
Yeah.
right?
So, Jan, you can send your letter of
Okay.
denial.
Do a GoFundMe.
She's the queen of denial.
So other than that, things are going pretty well. I do have a letter which Shirley has in front of her with the correspondence that I just want you to read out loud. It is to do with the June billing. And as soon as I have February billing completed, it will go in an envelope with the bill, February's bill. So other than that, we're trying to get everything accomplished that needs to be accomplished and done. The website is, like I said, got it going. Hopefully in a couple of months we'll get pay online done. And it'll, everything will be, like I said, eventually everything will be on the website. Good.
This letter's gonna be mailed out
With
when? This month?
This month with the billing, with Jeremy with going to school and all the snow removal and stuff like that, the billings are behind. We're going to go ahead and put the due date a week later than normal, just because of this reason. And, but we have that letter to go out with the bill to explain to them what's going on. A lot of people who have paid in good faith, that paid their bill in June, the way our billing system works is it shows that you have a credit. When your next bill comes out, that credit is used,
Automatically.
it's automatically, that credit is
For
used
that
on,
next month.
on your current charges.
Right.
So when you say the balance due, it is minus your credit. So that balance due is like, if you had a $200 bill and you had a credit of $120, that goes towards that $200, so that leaves you a credit of $80.
So that's a bill of 80.
A bill of $80. And if you had more credit than what was your bill, then you would have another credit, and then it eventually takes away that credit. So nobody, no matter how much they paid in, I can't say that, but if they paid in good faith in June for the 129 or 134, when the next bill came, it said balance due, and that balance due reflected that
credit.
that credit.
Right,
So that credit was eaten up by the time.
So everybody in town owes it.
right.
Pretty much.
And so
No.
what happened
Always.
is that when the credit is used
So-
up, people look normally,
Not-
and I know that a lot of people do because I've done it myself. Balance due does not reflect current charges, and so when you get your bill, current charges is what is actually owed, not balance due, because the balance due reflects the credit.
I'll ready you for the fact that February's been really cold, and people are gonna get some big bills this month. So
And-
you might not see anything on that from a lot of people. So
I
don't be
understand that,
surprised.
but we have, in the letter, it tells them they have until the
Yeah.
end of June of 2019 to have it paid up. And
Good.
we're always really good about working with people.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Is there, if you have any questions, please call? on that?
Yes.
Good.
So,
Good.
and, or come visit, and, come talk to me, call me, I'll try to explain it the best I can. But,
I'm sure if there was somebody in a situation where they're in a bind, I mean, if they put it before us, and guaranteed there isn't one of us cold-hearted enough to tell them that we can't.
And I told them too, as I had one gentleman already come in and say something, and I said, come to the meeting on Monday night. If you have a concern and I can't explain it to you well enough,
Right.
I've copied his transaction report for the, a few months, about 6 months or 8 months or past June, so that, trying to explain to him, so it's just like, I'll try to explain it the best I can, I'll work with you, but, most people will I know, it's another 129 or 65 or whatever it is.
Right.
Extra to your bill, and it's been a hard winter.
But the fact of the matter is that, you know, I know I'm gonna get an a water bill every single month. I know I'm gonna get an electric bill and a gas bill every single month. I don't use credit cards, so I wouldn't, but if I did, and I didn't get a bill, I would be responsible enough to call and find out where in the heck that bill is at. And find out why I didn't get it. You know, sometimes it's lost in the mail, there's a lot of reasons why you don't get them. But I would wanna know, because I pay my bills every month faithfully, and I would wanna know why I didn't get one and how much I owed, so. As for the letter, and this is the letter that will be sent out with the bills, and they will be sent individually in envelopes along with your bill to each person. And it says, Town Fromberg, to all property owners and tenants. Recently, the town discovered that you were not billed for your water and sewer garbage for the month of June 2018. With its current budget, the town cannot afford to forgive this monthly payment. Enclosed, you will find your February bill that reflects February charges, but also June 2018 basic water, sewer, garbage charges. Now this is, we are not going to add any penalty fees or outrageous usage for June. A lot of people watered their yards and things like that, but those are not going to, this is the basic charge.
Say, Journey? A lot of that problem was because of somebody said it was a
Right.
forgiven bill. That's why the whole problem
I know,
started.
I know.
But everybody has to pay, I agree, but they shouldn't have said that.
No, it shouldn't have been said.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. So, owing for services you received from the town for the month of June 2018, you will have until June 30th, 2019 to pay the June bill. If you feel there is an error or discrepancy, please call or visit the town hall. We apologize for this oversight and inconvenience that it may cause. And then that's the letter that we'll send out, so.
Any questions?
You were saying that everybody owes it?
Not everybody owes, because some of us do pay every single month, and I have all our receipts.
Yes.
But I know for a fact that we will not have to owe, because we did pay the bare minimum basics. And we paid the next month, so therefore that credit continually should be rolling, and it still shows.
Yeah, and I did the same with mine. I came in June and I just wrote them a check for what my normal
Yep.
charges were, like $136 or whatever. But it works itself out, and now I'm back to where I should be, so it's not like I have a credit there, it's just that I'm back to
Well, now
where I
that the
should
June
be.
has been put, now we should be at 0.
Right.
So,
Shirley, does the letter mention about, like you just said, late fees will be waived, or there will be no penalties or late fees in there, or is it?
there isn't, I can.
It just says basic, and that means no penalties or late fees.
Just what it- I
It's the
just-
base pay.
like base pay.
Okay, so, as an outsider, I'm just a little confused there, because, so if you've got a meter that is like an odometer on your car, and